is the red, right? Yet we talked about how with the red you could do like 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? From the inside. The numerator is 3, 2, 1, and then from the outside it's 1, 2, 3. All of the denominators are 2. The numerators are getting square roots, except the square root of 1 is 1, so I'm leaving that off, right? So that's the red points. In terms of their angles, that's in blue here, that's 30, 45, 60. Those are your quadrant 1 angles. You need to be able to write them as radians too. Pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, right? So that's covering quadrant 1. You also need to know the corner points. You're seeing them in red, right? If I'm at this point right here, I'm over 1 because the radius of the circle is 1, but I'm not up any. So that's 1, 0. If I'm at this point up here, I'm up 1, so that's a y value, but the x value is not over, that's 0. Over here, I'm going to the left 1, so that's negative 1, 0. And I'm going down, so that's 0, negative 1. Those corner angles are 0, 90, 180, 270. 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2. What's new from yesterday is the green and the orange stuff that you're seeing. Here's where you're going to make a decision. You can do the orange stuff, which is the work that it takes to get the tangent. The tangent itself is the green. You can memorize the green, or you can do the work that's the orange. That is going to be your decision. Tangent is y divided by x. So the orange is me doing the work of y divided by x. When you divide fractions, you keep, change, flip. So I kept the 1/2 the same, changed the division to multiplication, and flipped the x value. And I went through and I did the work. I ultimately ended up with root 3 over 3. You can do the work that I did in orange, or you can memorize that the tangent of 30 degrees is root 3 over 3. Whatever makes more sense to you. You've got to know the green. You can do the orange to get there, or you can memorize it. Does that make sense? So for 45 degrees, when I do root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2, I'm dividing the same thing. I get 1. So the tangent of 45 degrees is 1. That's the green. The tangent of 60 degrees is root 3. That's the green. The orange is how I got there. You don't need the orange, you need the green. All right, so part 1 of your quiz, that is Thursday, you are going to turn me in that. All of it. Except the orange. You don't need the orange. You need the red, you need the blue, you need the green. All of those are answers of the unit circle. You don't need the orange, but you need everything else. That's part 1. I'll give you a blank circle that is this template, and I'll put it on your desk. You'll turn that into me. After you turn that into me, I'm going to give you the same thing completed. And you'll complete the rest of the test with the correct unit circle. I don't want you to use your unit circle, because if your unit circle is wrong, all your answers are wrong too. So you'll use my unit circle that I know is right, and you'll use that to answer questions. Does that make sense? So it's 2 parts.
Are we just labeling it? We're not like answering a question?
The question will be part 2. So that's what we're going to do right now.
Okay.
I just wanted you to see there's 2 parts. This is part 1 of the quiz.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I'd say it's about 33% of the points.
That part?
All right? Filling it out.
Okay.
About 67% of the points is, can you use it now? Mm-hmm. So now that you have this, make sure you have it somewhere correct, because now you're going to use it. All right? So some questions, some examples of questions are on page 11. Page 11 is all tangent, because tangent's so new. I wanted today to be the focus for it to be tangent. Tomorrow's review will have everything, but I wanted to have a practice day of just tangent. Okay, so if you go to page 11 is now what the rest of the quiz will look like. Here are questions. Can you solve them? Keep in mind that if you get tangent alone, and when tangent is alone, you get a root 3 over 3, a 1, or a root 3. You get one of these quadrant 1 answers. Then you're going to pick 2 quadrants and find 2 answers. If you get tangent alone and you get a 0 or an error, then you're looking at the corner points. There's no reference angles for corner points. You're just picking your answers, okay? So you just have to know the difference, all right? So your practice now is going to be try using this completed circle to do page 11. And then what I'm going to do is post answers before you head out today.
What? Page 10.
So page 10. Sorry, page 10 has tangent questions. So if you leave the packet open, you should be able to see page 11, right? So you can use the completed circle on page 11 to do page 10. I'm going to start getting some of the answers posted in the next 6 minutes. I don't expect you to have them all done, but then you'll be able to at least check in and make sure you're doing the process right. And I'll just put a few up every so many minutes.
Did we start tangent yesterday?
We did tangent yesterday.
Okay, so
The solving is not different. This part's not different.
okay.
The actual tangents themselves is what would be different.
Okay.
I'll take a test in the hallway so I can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, cot is tangent, right?
Cotangent is tangent, but you're going to have to flip it.
Yeah.
So yes, they go together. Everything on page 10 is tangent related. There's no cosine or sine. So you're only working with tangent on page 10.
I'm gonna just watch the video from yesterday.
Would it be helpful for some of you to see the first one worked out so you know how to get started?
Yes, please.
All right, so here's the first one worked out. I divided by root 3 to get cotangent alone, and then I flipped it. Root 3 is a quadrant 1 tangent, so I had to pick my quadrants. Tangent is positive in 1 and 3. I also needed to find a reference angle, so I looked in quadrant 1 to find where is tangent root 3. Tangent is root 3 at 60 degrees, so my reference angle is 60 degrees, and I'm applying that reference angle to quadrants 1 and 3. My answers for this problem are in red. The work's in black.
Tangent can have a square root in the denominator.
It can't, I flipped it. Because that's a cotangent, which is the reciprocal. So instead of rationalizing that, I knew I was going to have to flip it anyway to make it tangent. So I didn't rationalize it.
Wait, can we use a calculator or something?
Everything's non-calculator. So I'm doing 180 plus 60. I got to do that without a calculator. So for number 2 here, when you get tangent alone, what number is on the other side of the equation?
0.
Tangent theta equals 0, right? Are we okay with getting to that point? I'm moving the 7 and the 5. So I'm getting 0. 0 is an edge tangent. So there's no reference angle for this one. There's no reference triangle. It's not happening within quadrant 1. So for this one, I'm just looking at the unit circle and seeing where's tangent 0. And I'm picking the answers. Sometimes there's one answer, sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. You gotta look at the circle. So look at the circle and figure out where did you write tangent is 0. Those are your answers.
And then we're just putting in Q1.
There's no Q1s for 0. Because 0 isn't in a quadrant.
So then
Right, think about it. If I'm saying tangent theta equals 0, that's not positive or negative. 0 is neither of those things. I can't pick a quadrant for 0.
So then you just say x-axis.
What are the angles on the x-axis?
Oh, just say angles. Okay.
Yep. So for this one, it's just
360, 0.
in 180. So you gotta know the difference between when am I in the quadrant, because if I'm in the quadrant, there's a reference angle and there's two answers. But if I'm on the edge, there's just answers. All right, guys, so for number 3, when you get tangent alone, what number's on the other side of the equation? -1. All right, so I had tangent theta equals -1. This one I feel like is confusing because if this was a cosine or a sine, then this is an edge number. 1 is on the edges for cosine and sine. It's not on the edges for tangent though. Tangent is 1 at 45 degrees. Y divided by x is 1 when the coordinate points are the same. So my reference angle is 45 degrees. But the tangent at 45 degrees is +1. I want it to be -1. So I need the tangent to be negative. The tangent is negative in 2 and 4. So I need to take 45 degrees and make it a quadrant 2 and 4 angle. And so I'm using the rules here. 180 minus 45, 360 minus 45. My answers are red. Right, the 2 answers to this problem are the red. All the black is just how I get there. What do we think? These are all in degrees. The directions say 0 to 360 degrees. The next 2 on your paper are in radians. That does not change the process. It changes the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 work. Because I'm not going to use 360 anymore. I'm going to use 2 pi. And I'm not going to use 180 anymore. I'm going to use pi. The work there changes. The process does not. Does anybody need this one up still? So then here are these two. Again, the process is the same. Get tangent alone and decide, is this a corner tangent? If it's a corner tangent, then you're just going immediately to your answer. You're not doing any work. If it's a quadrant 1 tangent, if it's in the quadrant, you got to do work. You got to find a reference angle, you got to pick 2 quadrants, and you got to do rules. So you have to decide if it's on the edge first or in the quadrant, and then go find your answers. All of that starts with getting the tangent alone.
I have a question about.
What's that? 5, okay.
Yeah, so I got the root 3 of 3.
Right.
Like, what is that in pi or rate?
So I'm going to look in quadrant 1, and that actual number is happening at 30 degrees.
Yeah.
So
Does it
my
go
pi
30,
is pi
45,
over,
60, 90?
it goes 30, 45, 60, and then in radians, it goes pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3.
Wait, pi over.
So to get from degrees to radians, you divide by 180.
Yeah.
So 30 divided by 180
Oh.
is 1/6. So it's pi over 6.
No, I know what you mean now.
So that reference angle, instead of being 30 degrees, will be pi over 6. And then you'll apply the rules.
And then 45 is the pi over 3 and then pi over 2.
45 is pi over 4.
Or pi over 4.
Because 45 over 180 is 1/4, if you simplify it. So it's pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3.
Alright.
For number 4, when you get tangent alone, what number do you get? 0. 0 is an edge tangent. So I'm not going to do any work for this one. I'm just looking on the coordinate grid. Where is tangent 0? It's on the sides. So in radians, that's 0, 2 pi, and pi. So the answers are in red. We okay with that one? No. I'm fine if you don't. They're just the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather you write the 2 than the 0 though. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to pick one, pick the 2 pi. All right.
If we did a work right, and we just didn't add it right, we probably just put like take it off.
Are you going to show the work?
Yeah.
Not a lot. Not a lot. All right, last one. I just want to post it before you're out just in case anybody got to it. When I isolate the tangent here, I actually, so Zayada, this was your question. When I isolate the tangent, it's not a cotangent, so I do have to rationalize that. I can't leave the root in the bottom.
Okay.
So I got 1 over root 3. I rationalized it, and it ended up being root 3 over 3.
Yeah.
So that is a pi over 6 tangent. My reference angle is pi over 6. But tangent of pi over 6 is positive root 3 over 3. Because I want negative root 3 over 3, I have to pick different quadrants. So that's 2 and 4. And doing quadrants with fractions adds an extra layer because now you have to find common denominators. So I did the common denominators in pink so they stand out a little bit. But my answers are in red up here. All right, guys, before you leave today, I just want to have one announcement. Tomorrow is quiz review, but I'm not here. And I find that when I'm not here for a review, you guys don't do anything. I can't stress to you enough how important it is you do the review. The video explanation's on Canvas, so if you need an explanation, I'm not here, it's still online, the way that I would explain it if I was in person. You got to do it. There's an extra review, too, if you want an extra. Okay, so that'll all be on the backboard, and it'll all be on Canvas. All right?